was going to read the rest of that, but I think that I'll read instead something I decided was all wrong. But after this afternoon's discussion of wrong poetry, I'm hoping that it might be the right kind of wrong for this occasion. It's 7 poems from a group of poems called The Swing. And after all of that, those stamping feet in the last poem, this poem absolutely invests everything in the shoe flying through the air and Fragonard's The Swing. So this is a kind of wrongness which I hope might go down well here. Okay. As a shut lily lifts and lowers its head, balloons and flattens, flaps, slaps and slumps, fails light behind its hood, denies it, dangling like wolfbane, tossed on the air sighs a canister, releasing what was once my voice, at least some dispersed, before what might fructify in the vault, instead clambers clumsily, fails light, swags of shade overspill their pursed blue outline, some unfetter vocals from their lips, but then flunked. Well, the cap fits, so I wear it, and I lost my shirt, so I'll cop this umbrella emblem, sub-fusk. Cirrus bar's blue sky, lapped before those spirits, well-hydrated, surge across, draped in a blue and overhanging pellicle, draped in cotton folds. What bleaching treats to such disjunct fire puffs out shirts with standard issue, fret lint and mace, bleached, bird-embroached habitat, universal. 1 metre takes wing above. Best mine shirt be my hammock, the aperture my lagging, surd, hiss, clamp, sigh. Masks peer out of cargo, these solicitous. Unfathomed cavity, just a smudge starts dispersing underneath. Shook out foil, an oxygenic trace long trapped. How with capillaries? Dancers maze round the plinth below puzzled Cupid, creep out from ferny glow rain quenches. Dreariness snags fabric, so it streams Eiffel after effects, casts their long shadows down a dead reef. Long waiting dropped its shoe. Horizon riddled, cries dance staccato over mud flats. They must sound deeps to then resound in, shot and shot, dipped and dipped like waterfowl fly under, though wincing at every pull, calendared against their flight, pulling threads to dislodge a cotton plug. Cistern plug won't degrade, the spigot sees, the manhole covers rust solid, eye-inverted skirls streaming upward, coped with loss as arrowheads of difference rake the floodplain. Tidal marks had been partnered off like tongues, meticulously jaw-matched, could front for you in singing ropes. But shadow worms twist, thrash their iron basin, underlings churn. A deeper, pensive throb shakes light-bonded sand. The pores open. Ghosts of cones, ghostly, foot-pile, sun-brinked, crimsoning the gunroom, brewed as dusk slots between barred eyes, crimsoning the burnt grass clearing, nodding donkeys halt and jennies still. Seed heads gleam carborundum-like, slag heaps glint. Necks twist inquisitively, cupids wriggle out of horsehair settles and of dawn. Many struggle free from each impress, one enduring prototype puffs, setting course from 4 corners, filling sails like cheeks, tack by teeth of the storm. Bucket wheresoe'er action is, specifically expunged is. Orphan flesh must pick their organs, bound for facial logon. Some fan out various types, boxed, but then bite the rough with the mouth, but then flinch behind bars, but then darken, then at last reset into the socket. Some black eye, a shiner, punched against the canvas, glows livid, glows yellow-blue, pressed against a stock-mounted sight. Strengthening it ranges, sweeps the alcoves, probes light silos. Charcoal burners pile smoke behind in powder puffs for spring decor. Thickets rattle, puzzle and dismay Cupid, propped above. Moreover, drop dance vesicles, heedless ripple moiré. Long neglected bridle path, glebe less frequented, even so doesn't fade but replicates in fan shapes. Lilies fester, fleur-de-lis packets, rubbish has been gusted down there instead of bestowed or dropped. Handsome is as handsome strews flywings, veined leaves. For it is cormorant light, pecks and pecks, saturated ruts, distorts the fellows, wavering the spokes. Scales fall and cartridge cases stud the verge. Scattered lilies stab into the soakaway, and tossed merged all become, oh, if only I were a sounding vessel, blank blank, winked at by ostensible through traffic, if at my imprudent breath flat butterflies, no chain reaction, but fendilated light. But feet tangle in the chained shadows, stumble in depressions, repack a drover's path, recurse unto resolved soil. Pluck down, I say, pack them, pluck down their brilliance, airy jive. They shall be sore beset. The iridescent bridle path branches and complicates. Their shields yet display the one emblem. Phantom-like, sheaves reap leather calves. Troughs bearing barons to their deluge, cloud that belly flops for canopy, oh if, nylon flurries spark in pink powder rooms, busts behind fine nostrils crumble, fingers snap cuffs, rabbit feet brush cheeks, fur shot, stroked and stroked, fur hair rubs against for a centrifuge of sparks. What costumier's light, makeup, bare bulbs will saturate. Pulley strap, jerking its contraption, a holster dips down an airy stack to stained stone, flushing via a hair-lit scuttle, via a patent slingback gushing throughout the shower burst. Sodden all evacuate, bronze drips below, sojourners squelching in the folds, scoop a cracked cistern rather than a base to vivid waters. Stop wells with rubble. Let these stench, spew, spring a leak, infuriate the wind in its storehouses. Let lightning fork to fork, force animals to drop their young. A powder burst, bruise canvas. Cloud rushes by above the bursting machinery, plumping bales up from puffs of talc, heaping bales upon bales. Clouds leaves swarm, cupids do. Startled green stalks poke out and one basket tumbles open. Grey mildews, grapes rankle, loose limbs flail, reproduced and reproducing this pastoral set. I stare into the green, I stare, I stare. Violence gouges out the picture plane, a storm sweeps the elevation, rout sky. Tricorn hat bounces, ropes compel a starting to and fro. Pink satin shoe flies. In flying it suspends cell phone services. Voiced air swings what the seasonal arc made out to swing. Now when handed from the swing, you tilt your head for all its attitude. Your ruffles won't a moment sidetrack my glance from the pause button. It's a toe-in, an inspiracy, pointing to a back road towards a cut hill. Meteorites clatter like machinery condemned, nearly crush, but I missed my mark too, missed my mark, refreshed a flock bouquet, a handful of foliage of notes. The amassed light was never quenched. The brilliant embolus struck out over flying conifers, white stained a dredged estuary. All said, her shoe flew like a no-show morning star. It showed an empty hand for what it holds. The door breaks open, then the door breaks open. High shoe tilts, its afterglow, its trail rasped and scrubbed. Wresting it away, her lovers hooked a dyed round the ankle strap, sensed emptiness's lineaments, tore apart the gusset, but no form lay waiting, only rills diminuendo, silk stockings slithered over scalloped shelves. It's down there a flexed up foot dangles from the lower slip against. Counterweight refolds the screen refolds. This is the gallant, this the advisor. Thick air cricks her furrow nape behind little curls I pluck at, so to fold the rays, so as to quench. so as to thirst. A clove-studded pomander prickles. A pheasant raspingly complains. Sand configures sound holes. A dandelion seed unloads. Against. The plectrum plays across each stone lip. Lip hollows out the shoe that shapes her foot. Lets the cold wind coarsen flap. Scraps of baste and satin. Cotton insole, runs of buttons. Napery puffs out in front. Beaters fan out through the copse, thumb that strokes the fret, restively, tingling. My finger strums against. Thank you.